Where's my phone? Can we share? Okay. Okay. Sorry. I know some persons want to. Did you tag me? Tag me, please. There's still who hasn't gotten the book? Emmanuel, bring the remaining copies. Who hasn't gotten there? Where is Vincent? I didn't see. He has not greeted me since I came. He's been dogging. Okay, thank you for tagging me. All right. Okay, so I think we're on air now. We're live. Okay. Do you know how to who operates? Okay, so you know exactly how the other one was done. So put it there, tag, and then we can continue. Now, those of you who are here in the morning, I guess you were blessed, right? I too was blessed, and I'm doing everything to give you as much as the Lord will have us to give you at this time. The fact is, it's going to take me an average of 6 months, teaching you twice a week or 3 times to be able to do justice to this. Okay? It's going to take me an average of 8 months, 6 months, you know, looking through the scriptures to show you what God really has in mind for you, and what is finished on your behalf, and how you need to respond to the finished work. At the beginning of this planning, the beginning, the pastor was saying, you know, whether we look into, what was it again? Understanding and operating in the finished work. You can't do those two together. You have to serialize it up to series 20, 30 before you get to certain things. Because when we begin to look at Jesus and see why, and ask the question, why did Jesus heal certain people on the Sabbath day? Then you begin to understand that Sabbath is something. Because when we get to the point where we're talking about Christ, our Sabbath, then you will no longer be thinking that Sunday is the real day to worship God. I hope nobody is still thinking like that here. Because if we suddenly don't have time to meet on Sunday, and it has to be on Saturday, some of you will say they're misleading. If you go to Israel, it is an official working day. The prime minister goes to office, all the lawmakers, the Likud party, all the party, the Knesset, or what do you call them, they go to, it is an official day. If you are a civil servant, you must be in the office on Sunday. Because Saturday is their holy day. On Saturdays, everywhere is locked. All shops, everything, government offices, everywhere is locked. Shabbat Shalom. They don't do church. That's the day they do church. They are synagogue and everything. But on Sunday, you have to go to work. If you go to UAE, Dubai, Qatar, everywhere, all of the Middle East, Friday is their holy day. Sunday is an official working day. Do you understand what I'm saying? You'll be stupid as a pastor or as whatever it is to say you don't want to do church on Friday because it's not on your holy day. According to Romans chapter 14, all days are holy. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've already lost some of you, and I don't have problem with that. I'm used to losing people. But the earlier you change and understand that God is not as difficult as He was presented to you, the better for you. God is not as difficult as He was presented to us. And I will be showing you that from the scriptures. We were trying to look into the finished work vis-a-vis how that the gospel was presented. Let's go back to that classic text. in Hebrews chapter 4. Give me in KJV. Are you there? Hebrews chapter 4. I want you to know that, I gave you two reasons why the plan of salvation was not a contingency plan. It was not, I heard somebody say, and I think he was sincerely making that mistake, and I understand, that's where he was. He said, well, God planned that Adam and Eve should live here, and he planned that they will live and obey and do that, but all of a sudden they fell, and so God had to make an alternative plan. The plan was always there. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think I sorted that one out yesterday. And that is the fact that I could verify that from many scriptures, but I don't want to go too far. Number one, if God is all-knowing, I think he is smart enough to have known that the people he was making will fail him. Do you agree with that? Number two, we're told in Revelation 13, you remember we read it, verse 10 yesterday, that a lamb, the Lamb book of life, the lamb that was slain from the foundation of the earth. So why will you kill a lamb for those that you have not created, so the lamb can take them, can ransom them? The lamb can take their place in redemption or purchase them back. Why will you do that when they had not even arrived? Invariably, God was already aware that the man he was going to make was going to fall. Thirdly, I also told you something. God placed himself in man. He made man in his likeness, and breathed into him, man became a living soul. So man eventually became, God on this earth, carrying God on the inside. If there's anything you know about God, God does not like to be told what to do because of his sovereignty. And God has already seeded a portion of his sovereignty into humanity when he created him. So, when he seeded that portion of, sovereignty and creativity into man, he blessed him and gave him dominion, to exercise dominion over all creation, and to rule over the earth, and to take control over everything, and subdue it. And all of a sudden, God came back and said, don't touch this other tree. Meanwhile, he had created them not to be passive, but to dominate. You see that man was invariably set up. Man was going to take that bait. Man was going to fall. So God saw all that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are not in class. Are you in class?